Here are 10 random travel facts that you have to know. You learn a lot of things on the road, and so I want to gradually share some random things that I've learned that I have not forgotten and I use every single time I travel from now on, so that you don't have to experience the rough patches and you can just work off of my mistakes. Hello and welcome back, travelers. This is Lindsay.
If you will please like, share, and subscribe.
You'll never miss another travel tip with Linz. Let's start with getting you to your travels. So if you are going on a long flight where you may look to the on-flight entertainment for help out of your boredom, remember those old headphones that we can no longer use with our iPhones that have this kind of adapter? The round one, you know, this dinosaur. Well, if you still have your old ones, there's still a use for them. I keep my old pair, and then sometimes if an airline does give me these kind for free, I will just stockpile them and I keep them in my travel backpack, because obviously our new AirPods and the new longer sideways adapters don't fit in the in-flight monitors. These can be your saving grace when you are bored and you're also too cheap to pay for the ones that they have. It's just the principle of it. I don't want to pay for it, but sometimes your melatonin doesn't kick in and you're just up and you want to listen to something, but you can't. But you can if you carry around this type of headphones. 2, don't go crazy on the wine when you're going international. I know that if there's international, you do get free wine, but one glass is enough to celebrate the fact that you made it on an international flight. Just have one, because you already get dehydrated on flights, and then the added dehydration from the alcohol, you're gonna end up sleeping for the rest of your 7 hours or whatever it will be. You're going to wake up and you're going to feel terrible. And then you have to figure out all the logistics of how to get out of the airport, how to get to where you're staying, and you wanna feel good. Plus, you did all this planning, you spent all this money, you wanna enjoy your first few seconds of hopping off that plane. Number 3, bring a pen on the plane, especially on international trips, but you can always use it for little things. But why it's important for an international trip is because at the end, they usually pass around custom papers, and you will notice that they do not pass around pens, especially in COVID times. The flight attendants usually can scrounge up like 3 pens, which they pass around, and it takes forever, and you don't know who had it before you. So always bring your own pen, because otherwise, if you can't find a buddy or anyone else on the plane or your neighbor that has a pen, because you want to get that vacation started, you're gonna have to fight in line before you get in the line for customs to find a pen. You're filling it out on that tiny microscopic table. Everyone's passing you in line. Another flight's coming in and passing you. So you just want to fill that out on the plane and then be ready to go. Number 4 is always bring a water bottle, because like I mentioned, you get dehydrated on the plane. In the past, I can see where you would think it would not be sanitary to get water at an airport, but even in COVID times, I feel quite comfortable with the motion censored one where the water comes out at the top and it's not a water spout where anyone's mouth can touch it. It's just always nice for the airports, especially because bottles of water in the airport are like $5 million. Then you can have it for the remainder of your trip. If it's late at night and you wake up in your hostel or your airport room and you're really thirsty, but you don't want to do the whole hand thing because you don't feel like that's sanitary. Also, when I was backpacking in Europe, I had invested in a water bottle that had a Brita filter in it, and I felt a lot more comfortable getting water from the water faucet if it was like my last resort. I think that this may be one of the most crucial things that people do not do. Before your trip, I know it may not be everyone's forte to plan before. You want to be spontaneous. I get it. It's not like we want to go on vacation to be on a schedule. I think it's essential to map out what are the attractions and where are the food and all of the things that you want to be doing on your trip. And here's why. If you just go with the flow and you go off the top of your head of what you want to do next, your route may end up looking like this. You can see that you're going back and forth, and your travel time to all those places are a lot longer. And also, you know, this may be more Uber rides and more metro passes. It's just not efficient, and you're gonna leave like not seeing as many things as you wanted to see. However, if you think about it beforehand and you at least map out, if you're not gonna map out the exact order, you can at least map out the areas that things are in, then it can look a lot like this. Your travel time in between are a lot less, and you may find that some things are right next door to each other. So then you can go in one smooth line, and it saves you time, and you're gonna be able to do a whole lot more. And as you can see, I just do this on Google Maps. So I probably have Europe on the mind because I am seriously missing it, but I think that night trains are so underrated and not talked about at all. But here's why I think that night trains are amazing. First of all, if you live somewhere like America, trains are not a big thing here. Therefore, I feel like we're all a little obsessed and our wanderlust goes crazy to ride on a train. Also, you're killing two birds with one stone, because you are not having to pay to transport somewhere and waste that time. And also you're not having to pay for sleeping accommodations as well. So I did a night train, for example, from Paris to Venice. So it's dark in Paris, it's nighttime. I wouldn't do anything out in the city anyway. So my day would be over. So now I'm getting on a train. I'm using my time wisely. I'm using the time that I would just be asleep, but it's productive because I'm on the road. So I'm saving time. And then also I didn't pay for another place to sleep that night. I paid for my bed on the train. If I can remember correctly, I wanna say it was around $60 US, but really that was in 2017, so I'm not totally sure. It was just very cheap. And so I think they have carts with different bed options, just like a hostel. That particular one had 6 beds, or the opportunity for 6 beds. And usually the people that ride them are super respectful because they know what they're doing. They're doing the same thing that you're doing. And I was there with my mother. When we woke up, we were able to look out the window and see the beautiful scenery. And then we ended up in Venice early morning, like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then we're ready to travel. We're rested. And once again, I cannot tell you how much we did not waste time. I love it, and I think people sleep on it. Get it? Next, sunscreen. First of all, always pack your sunscreen, okay? But my advice here is not only to bring sunscreen, but to remember places to put it. So first, maybe more for my ladies, put it in your part. Just do it. In my first trip to Hawaii in 2019, I went on a hike, and we went on a different hike than we thought we were going on, and it ended up being a 10-mile hike, and I had not put sunscreen on my part in my bun, and I got sunburnt there, and then, you know, if you're lucky enough, it ends up peeling and just looking super cute and hurting like heck. So just don't forget that. Also, the tips of your ears, and then also behind your neck where you don't see. Next is to always carry just the tiniest bit of cash. And the reason why, in my opinion, other than emergencies, some of the best holes in the walls are cash only, and you don't want to miss out, because I remember there was this burger place in New York that was in the Prime Meridian. It's super hidden, it's super tiny, super cool hole in the wall. It's cash only, but you get there and the line is so long, and plus you don't want to pay the ATM fees. I mean, sure, you could walk to the ATM, but again, it's a principle thing for me. I'm like, I don't want to pay to get my money. Just bring a little bit of cash, and then you'll be rewarded with some really cool hole in the walls, hopefully. My grand finale, number 10, comes from my mama. I'm from Texas, so yes, I have a mama. So before I went on my very first flight ever, my very first trip, my first flight and trip were to France, Germany, and Spain all in one go. I was 18 years old. I had never been anywhere. Dallas was my biggest vacation growing up. She said, make sure that you pack 1 pair of underwear a day.
1 pair of underwear a day.
In your carry-on. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, mama. But, wow. It was the best piece of advice, and I have never not done this. So on that trip, our first flight got delayed, which just turned into a snowball effect. Out of my whole group, my luggage got lost for about 10 out of the 20 days. And so, you know, I may not have had a new pair of cute clothes. I didn't have any makeup. But you know what I did have? a clean pair of underwear, and it made all the difference.
Oops, did I say 10 travel tips? I definitely meant 9. Yeah, for sure I meant 9.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully some of these resonate with you, and hopefully some of them were an aha moment. If you like this video, please, please, please subscribe, like, and share so I can help grow my channel and grow my community and get you guys traveling when the time is right after this pandemic. Bye-bye for now.